Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, before going to the material, I will introduce myself. Today we will discuss talking about interpretation such as a definition, type, and example of the interpretation. Okay, first of all, we're gonna talk about the definition of the interpretation. So, interpretation is the process of communication through speech or movement between two or more speakers who cannot use the same symbol. So, basically, it's a transmission of a message from a social language to a target language through an oral medium. And next, we're gonna talk about type of interpretation. Type number 1 is consecutive interpretation. Requires the speaker to pause every few sentences to allow the interpreter to repeat the message into the target language. And next is simultaneous interpretation. On the other hand, happens when the interpreter reads a message into the target language as the speaker delivers it. Number 3 is whisper interpreting. In this type, the interpreter sits next to the listener and whispers the message in the target language as not interrupt the speaker. And the next is relay interpreting. Involves multiple languages and is generally used to extremely rare language where a first professional will deliver the language in a more common tongue and the second interpreter will then interpret it for the target language. Liaison interpreting is the most informal method of interpreting and usually happens during site visit with a group of 10 until 15 people. The linguist accompanies the group on its visit and interpret whenever required. And the next type is by translation. This type usually happens at the court and involves the oral radiation of a written text, for instance, a statement from a foreign witness. In a person interpreting, this type may be the best option for a more personal communication that requires the interpreter to read body language. And the last type is upon interpreting service. In this type, this may be the best option when you are pressed in time or maybe have a lower budget. After we discuss about the definition and the type of interpretation, we move to the example of interpretation.
Pertumbuhan anak yang ideal tentu menjadi harapan kebanyakan orang tua. Selain tumbuh sehat dan kuat, hal yang biasa menjadi perhatian adalah soal tinggi badan anak.
The ideal growth of a child is certainly the hope of most parents. Apart from growing healthy and strong, what is usually a concern is the child height.
Tak sedikit orang tua yang merasa khawatir anaknya tidak memiliki tinggi ideal. Apalagi tinggi badan anak kerap dikaitkan dengan pertumbuhan anak yang cepat dan sehat.
Not a few parents are worried that their child does not have the ideal height, especially since the child height is often associated with the fast and healthy child growth.
Pertumbuhan tinggi badan anak salah satunya ditentukan oleh genetik loh Sobat VDPC. Namun jangan khawatir, terdapat faktor lain yang berhubungan dengan pertumbuhan tinggi anak, seperti pola makan sehat dan bergizi seimbang.
One of the reasons for a growth of a child height is genetic, but don't worry, there are also have other factors related to the growth of a child height, such as a healthy diet and a balanced nutrition.
Hal ini juga berhubungan dengan stunting. Stunting adalah masalah gizi kronis akibat kurangnya asupan gizi dalam jangka waktu panjang, sehingga mengakibatkan terganggunya pertumbuhan pada anak. Stunting juga menjadi salah satu penyebab tinggi badan anak terhambat, sehingga lebih rendah dibandingkan anak-anak seusianya. Karena itu, Sobat Krivisi, jika ingin anak bertumbuh tinggi dan sehat, penting untuk mencegah stunting pada anak.
And this is also related to stunting. Stunting is a chronic nutritional problem due to lack of nutritional intake in the long term, resulting in impaired growth in stunted compared to children at their age. Therefore, if you want your children to be tall and healthy, it is important to prevent stunting in children.
Untuk mencegah dan menangani stunting, tidak ada satu jenis nutrisi yang spesifik yang bisa kita berikan. Karena kebutuhan nutrisi dari anak itu sangatlah bervariasi. Jadi apa yang bisa kita lakukan untuk mencegah dan menangani stunting, yaitu memberikan nutrisi yang lengkap dan berimbang.
To prevent stunting, there is no one specific type of nutrition that we can provide because nutritional needs of children vary greatly. So what we can do to prevent stunting, which is to provide a complete and a balanced nutrition.
Jadi kita mengenal ada yang namanya makronutrien atau zat gizi makro dan juga mikronutrien atau zat gizi mikro. Makronutrien contohnya karbohidrat, protein, lemak, dan serat. Kemudian mikronutrien seperti vitamin dan mineral, kesemuanya harus didapatkan oleh bayi dan anak untuk mencegah dan menangani stunting.
We know there is such a thing as a macronutrient and micronutrient. For a micronutrient such as carbohydrate, protein, fat, and then fiber, and then for the micronutrients such as vitamin and minerals, and all of which must be obtained by infant and children to prevent stunting.
Untuk mencegah stunting sudah bisa dilakukan bahkan sejak dalam kandungan. Apa saja yang bisa dilakukan?
And how to prevent stunting? To prevent stunting, it can be done even in the womb. What we can done is
yang pertama tentu saja dengan merencanakan kehamilan dengan baik. Apabila kita merencanakan kehamilan dengan baik, maka kita bisa meyakinkan bahwa selama mengandung, ibu hamil mendapatkan nutrisi yang juga baik. Apabila ibu hamil mendapatkan nutrisi yang baik, maka janin di dalam kandungan juga akan tumbuh dengan baik dan resiko untuk mengalami stunting lebih kecil.
Number one is planning a pregnancy well. If we plan a pregnancy well, then we can make sure during pregnancy, a pregnant woman can get a good nutrition. If a pregnant woman get a good nutrition, the fetus in the womb also grow well and less risk of stunting.
Yang kedua, jangan lupa untuk memberikan ASI eksklusif selama 6 bulan. Memberikan ASI eksklusif selama 6 bulan terbukti dapat mencegah stunting.
Number two is don't forget to give exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. Exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months is proven to prevent stunting.
Kemudian yang ketiga, setelah bayi berusia 6 bulan, berikanlah MPASI atau makanan pendamping ASI dengan gizi yang lengkap dan berimbang, sehingga kebutuhan nutrisi dari anak tercukupi.
After a baby is 6 months old, give a complementary food with a complete and a balanced nutrition so that nutritional needs of the child are met.
Jangan lupa untuk selalu memantau pertumbuhan dari anak. Pantau selalu penambahan berat badan, panjang badan, dan juga lingkar kepalanya, terutama setiap bulan pada saat 6 bulan pertama. Dengan demikian, kita bisa mengetahui apakah anak mengalami resiko stunting atau tidak.
And the next is don't forget to always monitor of a growth of each children, always measuring weight, body length, and head circumference, especially every month during the first 6 months, so we can find out whenever you are at risk of stunting or not.
Kemudian yang kelima, jangan lupa jaga kesehatan atau imunitas dari bayi dan anak dengan melengkapi imunisasinya agar bayi dan anak tidak mudah sakit dan resiko untuk mengalami stunting lebih kecil.
Don't forget to take care of the health or immunity of the babies and children by completing their immunization so that babies and children get sick easily and less risk of stunting.
Kemudian juga jangan lupa ciptakan lingkungan yang bersih dan sehat di sekitar bayi dan anak. Misalnya dengan mencegah adanya anggota keluarga yang merokok, karena ini juga bisa meningkatkan resiko anak mengalami sakit dan juga mengalami stunting.
And the last is don't forget to create a clean and healthy environment around babies and children. For example, by preventing a family member from smoking, because this can also increase the risk of children getting sick and stunting.
Menyadari bahwa stunting adalah masalah kesehatan yang beresiko tinggi dan dapat memengaruhi pertumbuhan anak hingga dewasa. Sobat VDVC perlu mengenal berbagai usaha pencegahannya. Selalu perhatikan kecukupan gizi anak sejak dalam kandungan dan tentunya saat masa pertumbuhan.
And realizing that stunting is a high-risk health problem and it can affect the growth of a children to adult, it is necessary to recognize various prevention efforts. Number one is always pay attention to the nutritional adequacy of a child seen in the womb and of course during the growth period.
Selain itu, biasakan anak untuk melakukan perilaku hidup bersih dan sehat. Konsultasikan ke dokter jika anak mengalami malnutrisi dan pertumbuhan yang lambat. Deteksi dini bisa mencegah anak dari stunting dan tubuh yang pendek.
In addition, make it a habit for children to live a clean and healthy behavior. And the last one is consult a doctor if your child is malnutrition and has a slow growth. Early detection can prevent children from stunting and short bodies. So that's it. If there is a mispronunciation, I'm really sorry for that. Yeah. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.